Hello, I'm Rich Mason, Senior Advisor to Premier Risk Solutions and a Chief Security Officer with over 20 years of experience. In the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at security transformation and the competitive advantages that can come from it. It's no secret that today's regulatory landscape is getting more complex. Penalties for non-compliance can result in huge monetary fines and even criminal charges. To stay compliant, you need to be ready to evolve and advance with your company's level of enterprise security. As the saying goes, however, culture eats strategy for lunch. Even the best strategies can fail if they don't consider corporate culture and a sector's overall maturity. Of course, different sectors have different risk tolerances. The United States government has identified 16 sectors critical to national security. For each sector, a specific government agency partners with industry reps to improve the security maturity. I've served in most of these sectors while leading an organization to a #1 ranking by Security Magazine. From that vantage point, I've seen what happens when a gap between a company and a government agency goes unnoticed. And it's not pretty. At PRS, we close that gap with a strategy that starts with a security maturity evaluation, of which we've identified 6 levels: passive, reactive, proactive, preventive, predictive, and disruptive. The passive state is rare. It demonstrates no appreciation for risk nor response to it. We nickname this the ostrich. Companies in this state operate on a strategy of hope, which we know is not a good strategy. Secondly, the reactive state, or the firefighter. In this state, organizations have personnel who respond to threats, often making heroic efforts to provide security, but it's neither sustainable nor scalable. Third is the proactive state. As organizations recognize that the reactive state cannot scale, they begin proactively seeking vulnerabilities and indications of compromise. We nickname this the hunter. Though more mature than the first 2 states, hunters routinely find more problems than they can reasonably resolve with existing resources. Fourth is the preventive state, a common state for organizations facing regulatory scrutiny. We nickname this the jailer, as it's heavily focused on rules and compliance. Participants attempt to protect assets by systematically designing, deploying, and auditing against specific control objectives. With no risk strategy, however, this is where many organizations hit the fiscal cliff. They lack sufficient resources to prevent all threats against all assets. The 5th state is the predictive state, or the fortune teller. Here, advanced analytics and visual management is used to predict how threats evolve and where controls are likely to fail. This approach is intelligence-led, not compliance-led, with the focus on the resilience of their crown jewels, critical infrastructure, and their long-term competitive advantage. Finally is the disruptive state. These are the wizards of security with the 5 rights: getting the right information to the right people at the right time in the right format to enable right business decisions. Businesses in the disruptive state not only derail threat actors, but they also disrupt the competition, the market, and they positively disrupt the very assumptions on which a business operates. At PRS, we plan, build, run, and improve enterprise security. We do this by first understanding sector, then company, then organization, and ultimately security maturity, and then deliver a roadmap to move you up the stack without leapfrogging your corporate culture or its ability to execute transformation. In the food industry, for example, where government oversight can be daunting, we've seen companies fail quite publicly. Intentional adulteration of food, recalls, administrative detentions, and financial and reputational implications can destroy shareholder value overnight. At PRS, our playbook goes beyond regulatory compliance. We help food industry companies transform security maturity and attain a disruptive state so that food defense can be used as a competitive advantage. What's your company's security maturity level? Find out in 20 minutes with a free, no-obligation security assessment from PRS. No matter what sector you're in, PRS has the system that can take you to a higher level of security maturity. Premier Risk Solutions. Strong, safe, and true.